Hello, all. Ready for some Shakespeare stage? Let's say we read some copyright free William Shakespeare. Sounds like fun to me. Alright, might as well just get right in. I've got some new, I put this one up so you don't have to look at my face as much. No face at all. We'll start with this one. Alright. Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life, whose misadventured piteous overthrows doth with their death bury their parents' strife. The fearful passage of their death-marked love, and the continuance of their parents' rage, which, but their children's end, naught could remove, is now the 2 hours' traffic of our stage, the which, if you with patient ears attend, what here shall miss, our toil shall strive to mend. Act 1, Scene 1. Enter Samson and Gregory with swords and bucklers of the house of Capulet. Gregory, on my word, will not carry coals. No, for then we should be colliers. I mean, and we being collar, will draw. Aye, while you live, draw your neck out on collar. I strike quickly, being moved. But thou art not quickly moved to strike. A dog of the house of Montague moves me. To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runst away. A dog of that house shall move me to stand. I will take the wall of any man or maid of Montague's. That shows thee a weak slave, for the weakest goes to the wall. 'Tis true, and therefore women, being their weaker vessels, and ever thrust to the wall, therefore I will push Montague's men from the wall, and thrust his maids to the wall. The quarrel is between our masters and us, their men. 'Tis old one. I will show myself a tyrant. When I have fought with the men, I will be civil. With the maids, I will cut off their heads. The heads of the maids? Aye, the heads of the maids, or the maiden heads, take it in what sees that will. I must take it in sense that feel it. Me, they shall feel it while I'm able to stand, and 'tis known I am pretty piece of flesh. 'Tis well thou art not fish. If thou hadst been poor John. Draw thy tool. It comes of the house of Montague's. My naked weapon is out. Quarrel. I will back thee. How? Turn thy back and run? Fear me? No. No, Mary, I fear thee. Let us take the law of our swords. Let them begin. I will frown as I pass by, and let them take it as they list. Nay, as they dare. I will bite my thumb at them, which is disgrace to them if they bear it. He bites his thumb. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir? I do bite my thumb, sir. Do you bite your thumb at us, sir? Is the law on our side if I say aye? No. No, sir, I do not bite my thumb at you, sir. But I bite my thumb, sir. Do you quarrel, sir? Quarrel, sir? No, sir. But if you do, I am for you, sir. I serve as a good man as you. No better. Well, sir. Say better. Here comes one of my master's kinsmen. Yes, better, sir. You lie. Draw if you be men. Gregory, remember, thou washing blow. Ah, they fight. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Benvolio enters, drawing his sword. I gotta think of a good Benvolio. Part, fools! Put up your swords! You know not what you do! What art thou drawn among these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Benvolio, look upon thy death! I do not keep the peace. Put up thy sword, or manage it part these men with me. What drawn and talk of peace? I hate the word as I hate hell. All Montagues and thee, have at thee, coward! This is Tybalt. Tybalt and Benvolio fight. Clubs, bulls, partisans strike, beat them down! Down with the Capulet citizens, capital down with the Montagues! Enter old Capulet in his gown and his wife. What noise is this? Give me my long sword, ho! A crutch, why call you for a sword? Enter old Montague and his wife. My sword, I say. Old Montague has come and flourishes his blade in spite of me. Thou villain, Capulet, hold me not, let me go. Thou shalt not stir, 1 foot to seek a foe. And the prince enters. Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, profaners of this neighbor-stained steel, wilt thou not hear? What ho! You men, you beasts that quench the fire of our pernicious rage with purple fountains issuing from your veins, on pain of torture, from those bloody hands, throw you mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls bred of an airy word, by thee, old Capulet, and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets, and made Verona's ancient citizens, cast by their grave beseeming ornaments, to wield old partisans in hands as old, cankered with peace, to part your cankered hate. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me. And Montague, come you this afternoon to know our farther pleasure in this case. To old Freetown, our common judgment place, once more, on pain of death, all men depart. Who sent this ancient new approach? Speak, nephew. Were you by when it began? Montague talking to Benvolio. Benvolio. Here were the servants of your adversary, and yours, close fighting ere I did approach. I drew to part them. In the instant came the fiery Tybalt with his sword prepared, which, as he breathed defiance to my ears, he swung about his head and cut the winds, who, nothing heard withal, hissed him in the scorn, while we were interchanging thrusts and blows, came more and more, and fought on part and part, till the prince came, who parted, I the part. Oh, where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am he was not in all this fray. Oh, madam, an hour before the worshipped sun peered forth the golden window of the east, a troubled mind drove me to walk abroad, where underneath the grove of sycamore that westward rooteth from the city side, so early walking did I see your son. Towards him I made, but he was ware of me, and stole into the covert of the wood. I measuring his affection by my own, which then most sought where most might not be found, being one too many by the weary self, pursued my humor, not pursuing his, and gladly shunned, who gladly fled from me. Many a morning hath he that had been seen, with tears all mingling the fresh morning dew, adding to clouds more clouds with his deep sighs. But all so soon as the all-cheering sun should in the farther east begin to draw the shady curtains from Aurora's bed, away from light steal home my heavy son, and private in his chamber pins himself, shuts up his window, locks fair daylight out, and makes himself an artificial night. Black and portentous must this humour prove, unless good counsel may the cause remove. My noble uncle, do you know the cause? I neither know, nor can learn of him. Have you importuned him by any means? Both by myself and many other friends, but he, his own affection's counselor, is to himself, I will not say how true, but to himself so secret and so close, So far from sounding a discovery as is the bud bit with an envious worm, ere he could spread his sweet leaves to the air or dedicate his beauty to the same. Could we but learn from whence his sorrows grow, we would as willingly give cure as know. Enter Romeo. See where he comes. So please you, step aside. I'll know his grievance, or be much denied. I would thou wert so happy by this day to hear truth shift. Come, madam, let's away. Good morrow, cousin. Is the day so young? But new struck 9. Ay me. Sad hours seemed long. Was that my father that went hence so fast? It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours? Not having that which having makes them short. In love? Out of love? Out of her favor, where I am in love. Alas, that love, so gentle in his views, should be so tyrannous and rough in proof? Alas, that love, whose view is muffled still, should without eye see pathways to his will. Where shall we dine? Oh me, what fray was here? Yes, tell me not, for I have heard it all. There's much to do with hate, but more with love. Why then, oh brawling love, oh loving hate, oh anything of nothing's first create, oh heavy lightness, serious vanity, misshapen chaos of well-seeming forms, feather of lead, bright smoke, cold fire, sick health, still waking sleep. That is not what it is. This love feel I, that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh? No, cuz. No, cuz I rather weep. Good heart. At what? Well, at thy good heart's oppression. Why such is love's transgression? Griefs of mine own lie heavy in my breast, which thou wilt propagate to have it pressed with more of thine. This love that thou hast shown doth add more grief to too much of mine own. Love is a smoke made with the fume of sighs, being purged, a fire sparkling in lovers' eyes, being vexed, a sea nourished with loving tears. What is it else? A madness most discreet, a chalking gall, and a preventing sweet? Farewell, my cuz. Hey, soft, I will go along, and if you leave me so, you do me so wrong. Tut, I have lost myself, I am not here. This is not Romeo, he's some other where. Tell me in sadness, who is it that you love? What, shall I groan and tell thee? Groan? Why, no, but sadly tell me who. A sick man in sadness makes his will. A word ill urged to one that is so ill. In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman. I aimed so near when I supposed you loved. A right good marksman, and she's fair, I love. A right fair mark, fair cuz, is soonest hit. Well, in that hit you miss. She'll not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She hath Dian's wit, and in strong proof of chastity, well armed from love's weak childish bow, she lives uncharmed. She will not stay the siege of loving terms, nor bride the encounter of assailing eyes, nor overlap to saint-seducing gold. Oh, she is rich in beauty, only poor, that when she dies, with beauty dies her store. Then she hath sworn that she will live chaste? She hath, and in that sparing makes huge waste, for beauty starved with her severity cuts beauty off from all posterity. She is too fair, too wise, wisely too fair, to merit bliss by making me despair. She hath forsworn to love, and in that vow do I live dead, that live to tell it now. Be ruled by me, forget to think of her. Oh, teach me how I should forget to think. By giving liberty unto thine eyes. Examine other beauties. 'Tis the way to call hers exquisite and question more. These happy masks that kiss her fair lady's brows, being black, puts in his mind they hide the fair. He that is stricken blind cannot forget the precious treasure of his eyesight lost. Show me a mistress that is passing fair. What doth her beauty serve but as a note where I may read who passed that passing fair? Farewell, thou canst not teach me to forget. I'll pay that doctrine, or else die in debt. Act 1, Scene 2. Whew. Enter Capulet, County Paris, and a serving man. But Montague is bound as well as I, in penalty alike, and 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace. Oh yes, okay, Capulet is the old guy, Paris is the young guy. Montague I've made more into a lord in my head when I'm doing the voices, is more of a, what's his name, Tywin Lannister. Montague and Capulet, I gotta make him the old guy. We'll go, almost that old cowboy. Forget his name. Alright, Scene 2. But Montague is bound as well as I, in penalty alike, and 'tis not hard, I think, for men so old as we to keep the peace. Of honorable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. This is Paris. Paris is a little effeminate, and he never quite gets the check, in my head. Of honorable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit? But saying o'er what I have said before, my child is yet a stranger in the world. She hath not seen the change of 14 years. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride, ere we may think her ripe to be a bride. Younger than she our happy mother's maid, and too soon marred are those so early made. Earth hath swallowed all my hopes, but she's the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part, and she agreed within her scope of choice. Lies my consent and fair according voice. This night I hold an old accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest such as I love, and you among the store. One more, most welcome, makes my number more. At my poor house look to behold this night, earth-treading stars that make dark heaven light. Such comfort as do lusty young men feel when well-apparelled April on the heel of limping winter treads, ever such delight. Among fresh fennel buds shall you this night inherit at my house. Hear all she and like her most whose merit most shall be, which on more views of many, mine being one, may stand in number, through in reckoning none. Come, go with me. To serving man, giving him a list. Go, sirrah, trudge about through fair Verona, find those persons out whose names are written there, and to them say, my house, and welcome on their pleasure stay. Old man Capulet and Paris exit. The serving man. Find them out whose names are written here. It is written that the shoemaker should meddle with his yard, and the tailor with his last, the fisher with his pencil, and the painter with his nets. But I am to send to find those persons whose names are here writ. I can never find those names of writing person that here writ. I must to the learned in good time. Benvolio. Enter Benvolio and Romeo. Benvolio. Tut, man, one fire burns out another's burning. One pain is lessened by another's anguish. Turn giddy, and be helpful by backward turning. One desperate grief cures with another languish. Take thou some new infection to the eye, and the rank poison of the old will die. Your plantain leaf is excellent for that. For what, I pray thee? For your broken shin. Why, Romeo, art thou mad? Not mad, but bound more than a madman is. Shut up in prison, kept without my food, whipped and tormented, and good eating. Good fellow. Go eat, I pray, sir. Can you read? Aye, mine own fortune is my misery. Perhaps you have learned it without book, but I pray, can you read anything you see? Aye, if I know the letters and the language. You say honestly. Rest you merry. Stay, fellow, I can read. Give me that. Signor Martino and his wife and daughters, Count Anselm and his beauteous sisters, the lady widow of Vitruvio, Signor Placentio and his lovely nieces, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, mine, Uncle Capulet, his wife and daughters, my fair niece Rosaline, and Livia, Signor Valentino and his cousin Tybalt, Lucio and the lively Helena. A fair assembly. Whither should they come? Up. Whither? To supper? To our house. Whose house? My master's. Indeed, I should have asked thee that before. Now, I'll teach you without asking. My master is a great rich Capulet, and if you be not of the house of Montague, I pray come and crush a cup of wine. Rest ye merry. As this same ancient feast of Capulets sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so loves, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare her face with some that I shall show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow. When thou devout religion of mine eye maintains such falsehood and turns tears to fire, and these who, often drowned, could never die, transparent heretics, be burnt for liars. One fairer than my love, the all-seeing sun never seen her match since first the world begun. You saw her fair, none else bying by, herself poised with herself in either eye. But in that crystal scales let there be weighed your lady's love against some other maid, that I will show you shining at this feast, and she shall scant show well that now seems best. I'll be along, no such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendor of mine own. They exit. Scene 3. We're not on the street anymore. Where are we? Go back to the hearth and home. Enter Lady Capulet and the nurse. Nurse, where's my daughter? Call her forth to me. Now, by my maiden head, at 12-year-old, I bade her come. What lamb, what ladybird, God forbid, where's this girl? What Juliet? Enter Juliet. How now, who calls? Your mother. Madam, I am here. What is your will? This is the matter. Nurse, give leave a while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I have remembered me. Thou hear our counsel. Thou knowest my daughters of a pretty age. Faith, I can tell her age upon an hour. She's not 14. I'll lay 14 of my teeth, and yet to my teen be it spoken, I have before. She's not 14. How long is it now to la Mustard? fortnight and odd days, even or odd. Of all days in a year, come Lammas Eve at night, shall she be 14. Susan and she, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age, well, Susan is with God. She was too good for me, but as I said, on Lammas Eve at night, shall she be 14, that shall she. Mary, I'll remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake, now 11 years, and she was weaned. I never shall forget it. Of all the days of the year, upon that day, for I had them laid wormwood to my dug, sitting in the sun under the dove house wall. My lord and you were then at Mantua. Nay, I do bear brain. But as I said, when it did taste the wormwood on the nipple of my dug, and felt it bitter, pretty fool to see it tetchy and fall out with the dug. Shake, quoth the dove house, 'twas no need, I trow, to bid me trudge. And since that time it is 11 years. For then she could stand high alone, nay, by the rood. She could have run and waddled all about, for even the day before she broke her brow. And then my husband, God be with his soul, he was a merry man, took up the child, yea, quoth he, dost thou fall upon thy face? Thou wilt fall backward when thou hast more wit. Wilt thou now, Jewel? And by my holidam, the pretty wretch left crying, and said, I, to see now how a jest shall come about. I warrant, and I should live 1,000 years, I never should forget it. Wilt thou now, Jewel? Quoth he, and pretty fool it stinted and said, I. Enough of this, I pray thee, hold thy peace. Oh, yes, madam, yes, I cannot choose but laugh to think it should leave crying, and say, Ay, and yet I warrant it had upon his brow a bump as big as a young cock railed a stone, a perilous knock, and it cried bitterly. Yes, quoth my husband, fast upon thy face, thou wilt fall backward when thou comest to age. Wilt thou now, Jewel? It stinted and said, Ay. And stint thou too, I pray thee, nurse, say I. Peace I have done, God mark thee to his grace. Thou wast the prettiest babe that e'er I nursed. No, she went to Texas there for a second. Peace I had done, God mark thee to his grace. Thou wast the prettiest babe that e'er I nursed. And I might leave to see thee married once. I have my wish. Marry, that marry to be the very theme I come to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married? It is an honor that I dream not of. An honor were not I thine only nurse, I would say thou hadst sucked wisdom from thy teat. Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you, here in Verona, ladies of esteem are made already mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years, that you are now a maid. Thus then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love. Oh, a man, young lady, such a man, as all the world, why, he's a man of wax. Verona's summer hath not such a flower. Nay, he's a flower in faith, a very flower. What say you? Can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at our feast. Read o'er the volume of young Paris's face, and find delight writ there with beauty's pen. Examine every married lineament, and see how one another lends content, and what obscured in this fair volume lies, find written in the margin of his eyes. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only lacks a cover. The fish lives in the sea, and 'tis much pride for fair without the fair within to hide. That book in many eyes doth share the glory that in gold class locks in the golden story. So shall you share all that he doth possess, by having him making yourself no less. No less, nay bigger. Women grow by men. Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris's love? I'll look to like, if looking liking move, but no more deep will I